Welcome you all, here is Danny. Today I've got something really interesting for those who want to start their journey with cycling and don't have a lot of money. I've prepared 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different complete group sets for a road bike, which will not break your bank, and also they will give you good quality and they will look awesome. The price you're gonna pay for the cheapest one is just about $380 or maybe $50, and the most expensive one on this comparison will be from Campagnolo for $600. Now I know some of you would tell me that for $600 you could buy a road bike, but it will never be spec'd with these components, and for $380 you can also buy a road bike. It will be pretty much low quality. It cannot have good components. So what I'm showing you is how to upgrade the bike you have, how to upgrade the used bike you buy, and why would it go for these group sets. That's what you're gonna see just in a second. I'm gonna tell you what you should be looking at and which of the 5 I would choose in different scenarios, and at the end some additional tips. So Shimano Claris R2000, this is the newest generation of Shimano Claris. This is not the lowest group set because they also have the Tourney. This is the Claris, and this one just got the same design as the more expensive Shimano group set, so the derailleurs look very well. The Shimano Claris 2000 shifters now will have internal cables, so you don't see any cables going externally. Just as an example, I'm going to show you, this is the old Tiagra. So on the old one, the cable for shifting would go out of the shifter and then to your frame, and here it's all internal going in the hoods. So I'm hoping it works well. I just tried it on the Eurobike and it seems to me really good. So what you should be looking at is for sure the gearing. Shimano Claris will have 8-speed in the rear, so 2 or 3-speed in the front. So on the chain set you can buy double or triple, and then in the rear on the cassette you're gonna have 8 gears on Shimano Claris. Then Shimano Sora will have 1 additional gear in the rear, so 2 or 3 gears option in the front and then 9 gears in the rear, and the price will be pretty much the same, you know, it's just about $380 still, depending on what cage you buy for the derailleur or what cassette. I'm gonna explain that in the second. Then the third one is Shimano Tiagra, I mean the newest one, so the 4700, this one here, with the new look, and also 2 or 3 speed in the front, and this one will have 10 speed in the rear, and the price just about $400. It's not really a huge difference. Finally, Veloce will have 2 speed in the front, as you can see here, and 10 speed in the rear. And then SRAM Apex, really good one. It comes with the 1x11 option, but I'm talking about really a road bike, so 2x10 in this case, and price just about $400. So just about the Tiagra price range. The Campagnolo will be the most expensive one. Okay, so now we know the Claris will have 8 gears, Sora 9, Tiagra 10, and then Campagnolo Veloce 10 and SRAM Apex also 10. The number of the gearing is not the most expensive one. We're gonna go through that just in the second as well. Interesting thing about Shimano components is that you have the option for the road specific bars and for the flat specific bars. So the brakes and the shifters come in 2 different versions. As you can see, this is the road specific shifter, and this is the flat bar shifter. You can have 2 options on the Claris, on Sora and on Tiagra, and also all 3 group sets will have double or triple crankset in the front. And that's only for the Shimano. That's where Shimano really stands out. Alright, so we know about the gearing, we know about the flat bar options, we know about 2 or 3 gears in the front. Now, what's really important here is when you look at the cassette, let's just take the SRAM some 10-speed cassette. If you click on it, and I like it also about Amazon that you can just see how many options you've got. What's important here is the number of the teeth, not only the number of the gears. Okay, here we have 10 gears, but if you have 10 gears and the cassette will have 23 teeth here on the largest sprocket, it will not allow you climb as good as on the 8-speed with, let's say, 32 teeth. So that's important here. If you are a beginner cyclist, do not look at 11 through 23. So 11 teeth on the smallest, 23 on the largest, but something just about there, maybe 12, 32, 12. Let's say 12, 28 or 12 or 11, 28 would be okay, but 12, 32 will give you a nice range of gears so that you can descend, you can climb. It will be really, really good. So you make sure how many teeth the cassette you buy has. The standard for some riders that just ride regularly would be something about, let's say, 12.28 or 11.28, so that's the standard. Sometimes 11.25. I have 25. I guess, I'm not sure. I think I have 25 right now on most of my bikes. But remember, the more the teeth, the better for climbing it will be. And then, if you opt for some of the Shimano crankset with the triple chain rings in the front, so 3 gears in the front, then the cassette in the rear can have whatever amount of the teeth. You will be able to climb any climb. Triple crankset will just get you anywhere. Some of your riding buddies would just make fun of you that you are not pro because you have triple crankset. Pros are riding double crankset, but doesn't matter for me. But if you choose 2 by, let's say 2 by 8, and you have 32 teeth on the cassette in the rear, it will be just enough. So the gearing is pretty important here. Then if you choose the cassette, you have to choose the right rear derailleur. As you can see here, it says, for example, medium cage. You can also say a short cage or long cage. So this is the cage. That's the distance between these two pulleys, the upper and the bottom one. The more gears the more teeth you have on the cassette, the longer this cage has to be so that it will work well with the cassette. So if you have like some really compact cassette, let's say you have 11.23, for sure you can have a short cage. If you have 11.28, maybe short or medium cage, but if you run like 30 teeth or 32, that would be the long cage. SRAM call it Y-fly. All right, and then the difference between these 5 and which one would I choose? Let's just start with the Shimano. Shimano have good quality, really well looking. The design is pretty much the same for all these new Shimano components, but since there is so little difference in terms of the price between even Tiagra and Claris, I would go for Tiagra. 2x10. You have my review of this group set on the channel, so really worthy to look at Tiagra. Then Campagnolo, you have to know that the shifting system looks different and works different. You don't use a whole lever here, but you have one little lever there and the other one is on the inside of your hoods. The differences between those I've talked about one of my videos, and it's in the description, so all the videos you need there in the descriptions, just as the links to those components. And then once more, the SRAM has just one lever for shifting, and also the difference between those 3 I'm talking about right there. Campagnolo, Shimano, SRAM, road shifters comparison. So you will decide for yourself which one would be the most comfortable for you. I've also did test of the SRAM Apex. I love the quality and how silent this whole group set was. I really love it. Now, one of my latest project, the red Canada Cat 3, the vintage bike, I spec'd it with Campagnolo Veloce 10-speed, and it was lovely, and the video is also there for you to watch. So which one will I go for? If I was really on the budget, Tiagra, because you can save between $20 and $50 between Tiagra and Claris. I think Tiagra is really worth the extra money. You have 2 gears more, which will not push you that quick to update into 11-speed. Maybe never. Maybe 10-speed will be just enough. For me, it's really just enough. So that's what I think. And then I would really choose between the Tiagra and these two. So Veloce, expensive one, and SRAM Apex, probably the same price. So if I was on the budget, that would be Tiagra or SRAM Apex. If I had a lot of money and I liked the shifting system, the Veloce looks so classic and it's also very high quality. So that's what I think. If you need any further information, you can always look at E-SickBiker channel and just type in, like, let's say Tiagra here, and you will see how many different videos I've already made about it. This is the 11,000 kilometers Shimano Tiagra testing, so it's really interesting. These links that can be handy, I've put in the description. Thanks so much for watching and listening to me. I'm gonna answer your questions in the comments, and see you on the next episode. Bye bye.